What is up, guys? It is Coasters and Things back again, and today I'm reviewing Intimidator at Carowinds. This is a B&M Hyper, and it was also my first B&M Hyper when I rode it in 2018. It opened in 2010 over in the South Carolina side of the park, and this was really the coaster that put Carowinds on the map for coaster enthusiasts. Yeah, Fury 325 really did, but Intimidator did first. Before Fury, this was the standout ride at this park. I mentioned it was my first B&M Hyper. It was also my first coaster over 200 feet tall, period. So the first time I went to Carowinds in 2018, I went straight to Intimidator first thing. I decided to save Fury 325 for later in the day. I booked it straight for this ride first. I got front row and I thought it was awesome. It instantly made it into my top 10 coasters. Now keep in mind, that's when I had less than 50 credits. Now I have well over 250 credits, and it has slowly dropped in my rankings over the years. It's not even close to my top 25 anymore. This is one of the more maligned B&M Hypers out there. A lot of enthusiasts like to make fun of it because it has a lot of trim brakes. Years ago, coaster enthusiasts started calling this coaster Intimidator. So Intimidator is of course themed to Dale Earnhardt. His nickname was the Intimidator because he was known for his aggressive driving style, as well as coming from behind to win races. Carowinds designed a whole plaza dedicated to Intimidator, and it looks cool. There's checkered flags, facts about Dale Earnhardt, and a replica of his race car. It isn't the greatest theming ever, but it is certainly better than no theming. You go up into the station, and you notice this coaster runs with the staggered trains instead of the 4 seats across trains. I personally do not like this train design as much as the 4 seats across ones, but it's fine. You sit in your seat, buckle your seatbelt, and pull down your B&M clamshell restraint. I love B&M clamshells, and these are no exception. They are always very comfortable. I've ridden this coaster 3 times now, once in the front, once towards the back, and once in the very back. I definitely recommend the back. You dispatch out of the station and start the climb up the lift hill. This lift hill is 232 feet tall. That is 2 feet taller than its sister coasters, Diamondback at Kings Island and Behemoth at Canada's Wonderland. Those are both 230 feet tall. This one is 232. You get to the top, crest over, and go down the drop. In the back row, this drop is awesome. You really get flung over. In the front, it is just okay. That's one of the reasons why I much prefer the back on this coaster. While I don't like the staggered trains as much, they do definitely help with getting whipped over the drop in the back because of how long they are. At the bottom of the drop, you reach your max speed of 75 miles per hour. Definitely a good speed. After the drop, you swoop up into this massive 90-degree turnaround to the right. It's really big. It's 178 feet off the ground. I must say, this turnaround doesn't do too much. It's one of the weaker moments on the ride. I don't really care for these big turnarounds. In my opinion, they kill a lot of the momentum that you had just built up. But anyways, after the turnaround, you swoop down, bank left a little, and go over the first airtime hill. As with all B&M Hypers, this is floater airtime. If you're in the front, you really feel the trim hit, but if you're in the back, you don't really. I like this hill. It gives good floater, and coming down from it, you get thrown out of your seat in the back. And I'm sorry I keep mentioning the back. I genuinely think back is the row on this coaster. After that big floater hill, you dive down, come up, and into the far turnaround. This turnaround goes to the left, and unlike the first big turnaround, this turnaround I do like. It is pretty tight, so you go through it with some good speed. This is a relatively common turnaround for B&M Hypers. Several others have ones just like this, but it's still fun. You come down, bank right a little, and over the next hill. This one is smaller, so the airtime is definitely better. Both going into it and coming out of it, it is stronger. You dive down and go over, surprise surprise, another floater hill. However, this one does not have a trim on it, which automatically makes it better in my books. You then come down and turn left up into the mid-course brake run. This really is when the ride pretty much ends. The mid-course slows you down significantly. Even if you're in the back, you don't get any airtime coming off of the mid-course. It is a little disappointing. The name Intimidator is definitely valid right here. But anyways, after the annoying mid-course brake run, you come down, go up, and through a right-hand downward helix. You would think this helix would give some good force, but it doesn't. You go too slow through it to really feel anything. And then to finish off the ride, you dive down, come up, and glide into the final brake run. That is Intimidator. The ending of this ride is rather anticlimactic. You just kind of crawl through the last helix. One thing with this coaster, I wish the trims didn't hit as hard. They do hinder the airtime that you would get on this. Comparing this to other B&M hypers like Mako, Candemonium, and Diamondback, it doesn't have as good of airtime as those others. It isn't a short ride. No B&M hyper feels short. It just feels a little weak for a B&M hyper. This is a ride that has a lot of potential to be great if the trims didn't hit so hard. If it didn't have those trims, I would probably like this more than Afterburn and Copperhead Strike. But seeing as they do hit hard, I would take both Afterburn and Copperhead Strike over Intimidator. It's not rough, it is smooth, it just doesn't deliver like it should in the airtime department. For Intimidator's overall score, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. If the trims wouldn't hit so hard, I would have been much more inclined to give it a 9, but with how it is with the trims, it's an 8.5. It's still very fun, and it's a definite GP pleaser as with all B&M hypers. That being said, it is towards the bottom of the B&M hypers I have ridden. But as Theme Park Crazy says, you can never go wrong with a B&M hyper, and that even applies to this one. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Intimidator at Carowinds. Do you have the same opinion as me, or do you disagree? Let me know all that in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Coasters and Things, signing out.
I'm a